One of the things I've advised a couple clients of mine is the government has funding for new grads. And you can go find, especially these days, as an oversupply, you can go find some really bright young talent with engineers, computer science, various areas that have got kind of some of the latest awareness and training on the latest technologies. And if you can bring somebody like that in, who's not core to your business, but if you can do it on 25-cent dollars, sometimes those can bring real opportunities to you. So any thoughts on that? Have you seen anybody take on that kind of an initiative?
Well, there's an incredible amount of support for entrepreneurs and for businesses, especially those who want to do these new kind of technological things. A ridiculous amount of support. And you don't really know how much support there is until you start peeling back the layers of the onion and start looking online. There is, we mapped out some of them, and we stopped at about 200 organizations in Alberta that have money available for these kind of things. So there is a lot available. And yeah, so we've seen a bunch of companies take advantage of it. It takes time. Like there's applications to fill out and grant forms to fill out, but the amount of money out there is significant, and it ranges from R&D dollars to, as you said, salary dollars, and there's a lot out there. And sometimes there's just help. There's organizations out there that will give you a coach and help you prototype things and do things for you for free. And it's pretty spectacular what Alberta has built in their innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. It's really incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's not just the government either. Ironically, we had a conversation today with the IoT Association. Yep. And, again, a group of kind of business leaders and businesses that are just peer supporting each other. Yep. So reaching out and connecting to even some of those types of things. But again, the big challenge I find with meat and potatoes working businesses is what gets resourced gets done. Yeah. Who's going to take the time or who's going to find somebody and assign somebody who can take the time and explore those things? Yeah. Do you think it's worth doing? Where vis-a-vis relative to kind of the deal, do you think they should start thinking about this type of stuff?
If you're planning to sell your company, you got to be starting that process at least a couple of years before. Otherwise, the only thing that you're coming with to the table is an idea. You won't. Yeah. Otherwise, you're saying, "Hey, we have this brick and mortar product, and we know there's some grants available to add technology onto it." That's really not worth much. You need to suss it out a little bit and actually maybe get some of the money and have a young student at 25-cent dollars doing some of the work for you, and actually have something that you can show.
Maybe a prototype, maybe and to me, this is where companies kind of get entrepreneurial again. The key I found is always having that first real customer who's willing to say, "Oh, if you're going to build that new widget, we'd like to go on that little journey with you. That we're interested in that."
Yeah, absolutely. Having market pull, not just we've learned that a few times where we thought we had a really, really great idea, and then we put a bunch of money and time into it, and then showed it to the customer, and they said, "Oh, that's really great, but there's this other thing out there that does the exact same thing for half the price. So sorry." Wow. And yeah, that hurt.
But nowadays the trend now is really that, and I've seen you do, with this, to have the courage to experiment, to take risks, to step out there, and even for business owners, when you're looking at your exit, you can kind of take the safe road, and that's probably going to give you a value at one point, or you can look to kind of reboot your entrepreneurial engine, and that may give you a different value, but it's got risks associated with it.
I would say that the risks are actually quite low. So if you're the owner and you're interested in this, you could peel off 10% of your time and go search these things, or you could assign some person 25% of their time to go search out these things, go find some grants and go research some things. And it's pretty cheap to do, actually. It's not like you need to hire a department of data scientists to go figure out if you can add this offering. I think it's a pretty low risk proposition, actually, to go figure out if adding technology to your brick and mortar business makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of resources out there that can help. And even the Canadian Shred Credit, I mean that's just designed to have companies try stuff and fail. Like no matter what you're trying, just try it. And if you fail, you can write it all off and get a bunch of money back from the government. There's some pretty cool grants out there that allow you to try things. And even if you fail miserably, you still get the money.
Well, and it de-risks it to the point where it takes a big part of the fear factor away.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent. So in terms of today,
We covered a lot of ground.
I really wanted to thank you because for me, we did cover a lot of ground, but I found, every piece that you shared, there were some real nuggets in there that for me personally, kind of validated some of my thinking, but made me look at things a little bit differently and stuff. And to me, every day I learn something's a good day. So today's been a great day.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.